So I just finished building the Lego X Mansion. I'm gonna do a separate video about like mods and stuff that you can do afterwards. But for now, we're just going to review the set. Now, the minifigures, I put them all over the place, but let's talk about them first. Look at Wolverine doing the hero slide. I mean, the minifigure's pretty good, but it's literally the same as the CMF one, just with less printing, and it doesn't have dual molded legs. We have Bishop here. I just put the flashlight on so you can see a little bit of the detail more. Also looks very solid. You got the contrast in colors. He really looks like he just came out of a comic panel or something. We got Rogue there. I think looks pretty good. Wow, I'm a mess. Whenever I try to speak, I just like do a somersault on my words. Rogue here is pretty cool. What bothers me is that I guess it kind of matches with like the bottom right there, but the leg and the hip color, or the bottom of the torso, I guess is the same. But from a distance, it just doesn't bleed together well because you can't see that little bit of printing right there. I really like that they printed on the hair. That almost never happens. Cyclops is a great upgrade from the X-Jet set. I'm so glad I didn't get that, because it's like $85, and there's only one exclusive minifigure, which is Magneto, and he doesn't even look as cool as the Magneto that's here. But Cyclops looks fantastic. Here's Bobby right here. I really like the Ice Blast piece. They look really nice on camera. And the blue on white printing, you never see it, so love to see that. And we have a Gambit minifigure. You know how long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah. Oh, the colors really pop. The blast piece, I think this is a new mold, and it looks fantastic. The blue and pink contrast well. You got the silver on the knee pads there, and there's the tan coat. I would have liked to have a regular face that's not like the powered up version, but whatever. Magneto looks pretty cool. Some people were saying about the leg printing, but I don't know what I would have printed on the legs. The torso looks pretty accurate, and the actual helmet, I love it. We got the new thing of rubberized capes, which is pretty cool, and we got these just generic force field pieces. Nothing too special to say about the face. I put her in here. You'll see why pretty soon. We have Jean Grey. There's nothing, no leg printing, but I like the shoulder pads piece. The actual torso printing, yeah, it's showing up. Looks very like it's straight out of the show or something. It's very cartoony. Again, the face print is pretty good. It usually doesn't come out good when they print tan or like I forget the color that they use. What they call the color they use for the faces. Usually when they print that on a dark blue, it doesn't come out good. But it came out good. And then we have just the orange hair. We have Storm here. Oh, that's not okay. Storm is, I think, the same except for the hair, and by that I meant the same as the CMF. But actually, the faces are kind of different. This one has like a little yellow printing on the cape, while this one doesn't. And the CMF has the shoulder pads, while this one doesn't because the hair got in the way, I think. Oh, and the CMF has a little leg printing. Alright, and here's Professor X. He actually does have legs, but okay. No printing on the legs, but that's just to be expected. A lot of people like to make fun of this figure because he's just a combination of Michael Scott from The Office and Lex Luthor, Lex Luthor's head. Some dubbing him Lex Scott or Michael Luthor. And yeah, it would have been better if they used the Mr. Burns torso, which is like this, but green. But let's compare it to my custom one. I think their figure itself is worse, and my figure itself is better. But their chair is better, and my chair is worse. Does not look comfortable to sit in. But this one, I would happily get shot in the spine if it meant that I got to sit in this all day. I think they definitely could have at least used this face. And with that, let's get into the actual build. I'm gonna go top down. And let's just start with the roof. You might be wondering why I put Jean Grey in there. So I know this is a very bad camera angle, but I had to put my tripod on the chair. So here you can see look at the top. Whoa, it's Jean. Thought that was pretty cool. And the rest of the roof, there's really just not a ton to say. They put some, like, plants in there. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Do they have, like, a greenhouse in their roof? I don't know. In here is a bedroom. The one on the top of your screen is supposed to be Wolverine, but I am not sure who this is. Since there's bubblegum there, some people say Jubilee, but that just doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know why they'd be sharing a room. And there's like a statue of like maybe a model of the Statue of Liberty. There's a picture of Scott and Jean, so you can recreate the meme. You know the one, it looks something like that. We have a sword up here, maybe this is a reference to the Wolverine. Beer bottle, there's a Wolverine calendar, and a copy of the X-Men #1. This really makes me think, why do they have an X-Men #1 comic? On the floor, dude. Put that in some bulletproof case. So I think this is meant to be like Beast's lab. I'm not sure why there's a spilled coffee. Maybe he left it on the floor and then it got knocked over. Because he was like sitting upside down, because he can do that. And I like the building technique they used to have an open drawer. The main room here, or the biggest room, the room in the middle, you know what I mean. There's the elevator, which I think they hired the same elevator company as the Daily Bugle. And the Avengers Tower. Oh god, did you hear that voice crack? Oh my... There's like an MRI scanner. I don't think this is actually there. This is like Beast's coffee mug from the CMS series. I think I just threw it in there. And underneath the bed is the X-ray scan for Wolverine. Oh, maybe that is like an X-ray thing. I'm not entirely sure with medical equipment, because I've never had a broken bone nor cancer. In there was a cabinet with videotapes of all things in it. And there's another one with this in it. Maybe that's a reference to the mutant cures from X-Men 3, or X3, or whatever the title of that stupid movie was. And there's a cookie. I'm not entirely sure what that is. There's like a soda or something. Also, if there's references I'm not getting, feel free to tell me. But over here, it's kind of hard to really get in there, because it is quite small. But in there, you can see there's Cerebro. And this one, you can, this part right here, you can connect to Professor X's head. And then you can have him, you can have it on his head, and you can have him look at the Cerebro. A lot of people say it should have been its own room, and I really agree with that. A lot of versions of the tower actually have 3 floors. Now, I get it, this would have skyrocketed the price. Well, not skyrocketed, but it would have made it more expensive. But it definitely would have been cool to have another floor. I'll go more in depth with that, but have another floor of the Danger Room. Then I don't know what I would do for the other things, but I would have the Cerebro on there. Some people have done that already. That'd be cool. Alright, and here we have a little thing where somebody can observe the team in the Danger Room, and there's a little chessboard, so Magneto and Professor X can play chess. And then we have the Danger Room, which is actually a good segue into the other floor, because it is 2 floors. But we have some crazy references in here. I don't know if anybody got. So looking here at the Danger Room, you have like these saws on there. You have this little space where Professor X or Cyclops or somebody can observe them. There's a little camera. There's like a spike trap in there, and then there's some lasers. The crazy stuff is this little sticker text right here. UX266. Keep that in mind. This is a reference to Uncanny X-Men 266, which is the first introduction to Gambit. Over here we have 141965. Which is a reference to X-Men #14 releasing in 1965. Which I think is the first appearance of the Sentinels. And I think on the cover here, they're in the Danger Room. Moving on to the other floor, we have some rockets in there. Looks like this is some other kind of missile. There's some like fire sticking out of there. And this flat piece here we'll get to in a second. Ooh, it's spinning there. And then there's like a spike thing on the floor, and in there you can slide around this little gun. But you're probably wondering about these. E13122. 13122 is the name they gave to the LEGO universe, like in the LEGO video games. And E simply stands for Earth. Some people actually say that the video games don't take place in the same universe. I think they do. But there were also these short films. And I guess these are technically considered short films as well, but they also released these like stupid 40-minute long movies of Lego Marvel on Disney Plus. And this is the same universe as the Lego universe seen in Across the Spider-Verse. Then we have E92131. E, yet again, stands for Earth. And 92131 is the universe number for the X-Men animated series, X-Men 97, and the 90s Spider-Man show. It's just so cool that they went out of their way to print an entirely new piece with a serial number on it that most people would just shrug off as just some random detail to make it look more realistic. But they knew some fans would think about that and say, hey, I wonder if that was a reference, and then Google that. And then it would make those fans' days to see that they put this much attention to detail in there. My hat's off to you. And this news report, moving on, is, I should have said moving on first. This news report is about the Sentinels hunting down the mutants. And this guy's pretty worried because, well, it appears he's a mutant. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the same news reporter as the one seen in the Daily Bugle, although this one has gray hair. But hey, maybe he went fully gray in between the 4 years. There's a newspaper about mutant registration. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm not sure what this is a reference to. I find it strange they made it The News instead of Daily Bugle. And then there's a fire extinguisher, which is just a reference to Lego Marvel itself, because they love to hide little fire extinguishers everywhere. And this gray slab I said we would get back to earlier is the, there's no way to get a good angle of it. It's the X door, and, like the X-Men door, and if you pull on this little electrical box, it slides open. Isn't that cool? We have, like, a bust of somebody? I'm not sure. The carpet here makes an X. I'm not sure what this white thing is. Maybe it's a lamp. 2 chairs in there. Oh, look, it's a plant. It says that way to class and then that way to danger room. I think the only real interesting Easter eggs here is this sticker appears to be, it's kind of hard to see, the opening of the school, maybe. Because this also kind of seems to be the opening of school, but the strange thing here is that Charles is standing up. I guess it's been a while since I've seen it, but didn't they open the school after he was already paraplegic? There's a book here that says Creole, and there's one up there that says medical science. I'm not too sure what a Creole is. Apparently it's like this shrimp dish, but then if I put X-Men on the back of it, or on the end of it, I get a bunch of Gambit. And I thought, is that his name? No, his name's Remy LeBeau.
His name's Remy LeBeau.
There's a people also ask section where it says, is Gambit Cajun or Creole? And I would understand if he was actually Creole, but he's actually Cajun. Correct me if I'm just being an uncultured idiot, but I really don't know about this one. I know that the travel thing is a reference to the Sanctum Sanctorum, because there's a very similar travel thing. There's another globe, which I think is either they just wanted a globe in there, or this is also a reference to the Sanctum Sanctorum, because there's also a globe in there. Over here there's a chalkboard with like a demonstration of Wolverine. I'm not sure what's happening. This one's very clever. Since Beast is not in the mansion for some reason, even though there's a ton of references to him, I really don't know why he's not here. It shows him doing an online class, and he's actually teaching upside down, like he's on the ceiling or something. And no, I didn't place the sticker upside down, because the rest of everything's right side up. We have some more, like, calculations and stuff. And you can move this thingy. And it seems to be the diagram, or maybe like the location of the Sentinels. And now I'm going to talk about the front and the back. So we have some, like, exploding lamppost and, like, a fire hydrant. with a very cool technique where they used a flame piece as actually like a water piece. But again, this is the continuing of a tradition. I have switched out the lights on the lamppost so they can actually turn on, if it decides to. There you go. Man, I really gotta get more of those lights so I can do all the lights in the X Mansion. And the custom Oscorp Tower, I guess. It has these two little guns that pop out. I really think they were only added just to have structural stability on the Sentinel, and it was like, hey, that's another Easter egg we can throw in. But I believe that is a reference to the animated series where there were occasionally be guns that popped out of the grass there. We have that it was established in 1963. That sounds about right, but if that's true, Professor X looks really good for a 61-year-old man. Also, no, I didn't do the addition wrong, or subtraction wrong. But since the set came out in 2024, that's the year I counted it as. Although that really makes me question, do you time travel if you, like, walk across? Because this would be 2021, this would be 2022, the Avengers Tower would be 2023. Oh my god, and does it have to be the set release date or the movie release date? Like, if you went into this build, would you be in 2023 or 2021? Ah! I don't like that. Now, I guess this tradition was technically broken by the Sanctum Sanctorum, but it does continue the tradition of having something be broken, like on the building, because we had the Daily Bugle with the smashed window here, and then we have Hulk breaking the Avengers Tower window. It just kind of makes me wanna... It doesn't say to do this on the box. I kind of just did this myself. Although it does something similar, I'll show you. Actually, no, the instructions rather, my bad. But it's like, oh yeah, he's just driving or something, making a turn. And I guess it still could be that, but to me it just kind of looks like he's doing the Akira slide, you know, the... And even as I watched that, I realized one of them was even Captain America. Not just Captain America, Lego Captain America. And on the back, there's just a couple things. This continues another tradition, this time unbroken, where every Marvel modular has one of these yellow dumpsters at some point. That's pretty cool. There's another cardboard box, electrical box, and there's a basketball and hoop. I don't know if the cardboard and electrical boxes are a reference to this on the Daily Bugle, or maybe I'm just digging in too deep. We have this like graffiti that's like Wolverine themed, and then it says Pixie was here. Is Pixie a character? Oh, apparently that is like a random like C-tier X-Men character. Some diehard fan is gonna be like, she's not a C-tier character. Then we have a Nightcrawler reference and a Dazzler reference. A Pyro reference over here. An anti-mutant graffiti. And this newspaper thing, which is a reference to the Days of Future Past. As you can see on this cover, it looks very similar to that. But instead of any of those violent words like slain or apprehended, it just says collected. And if we're gonna go really deep into this, that's Cyclops, Gambit, Storm, Cable, Beast, Jean Grey, Magneto, Rogue, and I'm not sure who that last guy is. I really don't know who that last guy is. You might think maybe it's Wolverine, but I don't think it is. It's not the same hair, and it's not the same face. I don't know who this could be. Hey, do you think if I include a scene from Deadpool and Wolverine, this won't get marked as made for kids? But then I'm afraid of it getting restricted or copyright claimed. There you go. Alright, so that's it for the LEGO X Mansion review. One last thing I gotta say. I will do a video about, like, mods and stuff. And it looks great next to the other modulars. I mean, I guess it would be a little better if they had one more on this side so it was more even, but you could just put a different set over there. It looks so dynamic and cool. Oh, I love it. I guess it's a little bit shorter than the Sanctum Sanctorum, but I don't know, maybe with Magneto on top, it's taller. It's taller if you put Magneto on top. Alright, that's all for this video, and chances are you can watch the mods video right after this. Unless you're like first or something. Alright, this is getting too long. Bye.